Hi everyone, I'm Chris Anderson with Mount Comfort RV, and today we're going to show you some new 2023 just arrived Newmar product. We're in a Dutch Star. This is a brand new floor plan. This is the 4071 floor plan. So let's get right to it. What's new for 2023? Well, the Dutch Star got a life cycle change. A life cycle change, you know, RVs kind of stay the same for 4 or 5 years, and then they update it so that we keep things trendy and in fashion and all that good stuff. And that's what just happened with the Dutch Star. So there's a lot to talk about here, and with this life cycle change, we get kind of all new cabinets, we get all new fascias on the woodwork here, a new ceiling. So lots to talk about that you'll see as we go through here, but we're going to start up in the front, and that is it is a totally redesigned dash. So bigger monitors up front, a little better angle here. On the Spartan, you have a new steering wheel with more controls here. Now this all controls here in your digital dash, things you can do in there and cycle through without really removing your hands from the wheel. You can control the volume of your radio, answer your phone, scroll through different diagnostics on the digital dashboard, answer your phone, wiper blades, all that good stuff is controlled right through here with these 3 control panels. To the driver's left, we're going to see some different controls over here, anything from headlights, and by the way, new for 2023 on the Dutch Star, we have automatic dim and bright headlights. So when a car's coming at you, it will dim them down if they're on high beam, and then once that car passes, it will turn them back on again, which is wonderful. Controls for that are over here. Our tag axle dump is over here, where you can dump the air out of your tag if you're on soft ground. We have a 3-stage engine brake here, so you can do high, medium, or low to slow yourself down going down hills. Traction control is not something you're going to use very often on a motorhome, but the disable for that is over here. We have our power window is new for this year. This is a new bonded window. The old window went up and down. Still, it kind of did 2 things. It had a horizontal bar that could fight with your vision on the left on things you need to see, and it didn't open very wide, so when you were trying to pay a toll or something like that, it wasn't ideal. This is a much better window for that. Our Allison 6-speed transmission control is here with built-in diagnostics right through this panel. You can put this in diagnostics mode and check anything from your transmission fluid level to if it threw a code of any kind, it'll actually tell you what's going on there. And our HWH fully hydraulic, fully automatic leveling system is controlled over here as well. Don't accidentally hit the ejection button that's here. Bad things happen to your passenger. As we move over to the center console, as I mentioned, bigger monitors here. Now this coach is equipped with the 360-degree camera system on there, so we can go to menu here, go to camera control, where'd it go? Right there, and hit 360, and it's going to give us a bird's eye view of this coach from above, where you can see what's going on all the way around the coach. It's very accurate, so when you're in a gas station and you're kind of close to a pump, you can see if you're going to clear or not, which is outstanding. Not really something you're going to use at high speed or anything, but in RVs generally don't have accidents at high speed. They have accidents in gas stations and campgrounds, and you backed into the picnic table or didn't see that tree branch, things like that. That's what this can prevent here, and it's awesome. New for this year, they did make an adjustment on this to where when you drop the coach in reverse, you can still have not only your backup camera, but your 360-degree camera on as well. Last year, when you drop the coach in reverse, you could only see the backup camera. You couldn't see the 360. I really enjoy the 360 camera when I'm negotiating in tight places, which we do quite a bit here because, you know, like most RV dealerships, we try to cram a lot of RVs in a very tight spot. So to keep bad things from happening, I love the 360 camera. Our front HVAC controls are here, along with things like docking lights, our overhead fans. We can lock and unlock our coach. I don't know why they put an air horn button on here. Who turns the air horn off? Of course we want the air horn on at all times. So that's definitely one we want to keep on. Our camera select is here, and controls for opening these front visors, that type of thing. We'll get into some of our overhead stuff here. Here's our main control center for the coach. And up here we have our Wi-Fi Ranger, and this is capable of not only extending your Wi-Fi signal. Obviously those 4 antennas are going to get a much better signal than, and these are the internal antennas, there's outside antennas as well, but the antennas are going to get a much better signal than your phone on the inside of the coach. So you're getting a little better reach, But let's be honest here, a lot of times in RVs, this is a better connection to the campground's not so great Wi-Fi. So this also has a 4G capability where you can go through your cell phone provider and buy data through them and get a little better connectivity in the instance that you don't have great Wi-Fi, which unfortunately isn't all that rare in RV parks. So our control for the inverter is here, along with our auto generator start. We can set the generator to come on if the voltage gets too low or if the temperature gets too warm in the coach and it's unattended. You can actually have your generator automatically start itself, either recharge the batteries or turn your air conditioner on, cool off the coach, and then shut itself back off again. So that auto generator start and our inverter control are done right here. Things like security lights, the block heater, the in-motion satellite dish, our step control, and some of our exterior lights, like below the slide out here, are all controlled up here. This is our Winegard digital antenna. This is going to help you dial in over-the-air programming. We have a little awning over the door that is controlled right here. That's just that awning that sticks out, I don't know, about 30 inches or so, I'd guesstimate. That's that little awning there. Our slide-out controls for the front two slides are here. This is our Oasis system. Oasis is hydronic heating. This is an all-electric motorhome, so there's no propane system on this as well. No propane system on this coach at all, rather. And what this is going to do, this is your primary heating system for the coach when it gets really cold, but it's also your water heating system, and you can do unlimited hot water with this. This system runs off of either diesel fuel or off of electricity if you're plugged in or running your generator. And that is a very neat system. If you're interested in that, rather than get too far into the weeds here in today's video, if you punch into YouTube Mount Comfort RV hydronic heating, we did a whole video just on this, and it will certainly show you how the system works and all that good stuff. Our energy management system is here, so we know how much any one appliance, how much amperage any one appliance is taking up here. And then this is our control for our main awnings on the coach. Basically, the whole side of this coach is awnings on the door side, and that is where we control that and the lighting for that as well. So that's what's up in this compartment. I apologize for going quickly, but we don't want to have an hour and a half long video. We want to keep you somewhat entertained and moving. As we step over here, we have a nice little storage cubby up front. The driver passenger seats are both swivel around, and they are heated power seats, so you can rotate these around and be part of the conversation once camp is set up. Now let's talk about this floor. Let's get some good shots of this floor if we could, Troy. This is not your normal Dutch Star floor. So they came out with a new flooring this year, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like what Newmar chose, and neither did the powers that be at Mount Comfort RV. So we decided to spend a little bit more money and find a floor that we did like. We looked through the different Newmar brands to find one, and we went big. This floor came out of a King Air. This King Air is about a $2 million coach, and this is their floor. This is a ceramic tile floor, but instead of being that real shiny that shows every bit of dirt and all that, this is more of a matte finish. I love this floor. It's absolutely gorgeous. We're doing this in all of our Dutch Stars for 2023 that we order here, and I think you'll really love it. It costs $3,000 or $4,000 as an upgrade to do this. We saw it in person and we're like, absolutely 100% worth it. It looks phenomenal. So this new floor plan, the 4071, well, what is it? Let's talk about the layout itself. Well, very common in Newmar parlance, it's a bath and a half floor plan with a full wall slide. Now, being a Dutch Star, of course, we have no carpet in this coach whatsoever. Even the main slide out here is covered with tile, and that's a beautiful part about stepping up to the Dutch Star is absolutely no carpet. This is a heated floor. We did option that in as well. We optioned in, by default, it comes sofa up front. We didn't like sofa, so we went with theater seating on this side because it's directly across from the televator. Right here, that television pops up out of there, so we'll bring that up here in a little bit and show you that, but it's directly across from the theater seating, so you can't get better viewing angles. Even if you spin the driver passenger seats around, they would have good viewing angle to that television as well, but just in case somebody has bad viewing angle, maybe from the booth or something like that, there's a second TV in the living area. So two TVs here, one in the bedroom, one outside. One of the things that Newmar is focusing on for 2023 is getting more dinettes on the door side of the coach or on the patio side of your coach. You know, every campground is a little different, but the one consistency we have is this is your camping side, the door side of your coach. That's where your awnings are, that's where your outdoor TV is, that's where your picnic table is, that's where the fire ring is. This is where your family's going to be hanging out or going to be outside of this side of the coach. So rather than have the dinette on the off-door side of the coach where you're looking at your neighbor's patio, it's on this side of the coach where you're looking out the window to your family in your patio side. So that's a big one. This is the standard Euro dinette. It's extremely comfortable. There are leaves that go in here as well. Beautiful dinette, great furniture, and I'll show you there's some storage in there as well. Okay, so we've kind of given you the parameters of what this layout is. Let's get into some of the details with storage and that type of thing. The theater seating. Okay, we have storage in here, little tray that slides back and forth. Okay. We have little USB ports in here as well, so you can sit here, charge your favorite device, and be extremely comfortable with your feet up, your back. You know, can't get much better than that. Storage above this. All right, I'll open these. Notice these doors stay up on their own. On cheaper motorhomes, they don't stay up on their own. You have to hold them up and try to load and unload things. That's no fun. Also, these are all lined with a nice carpet in here, nice olefin carpet in there. That keeps things from sliding around. It also cuts noise down. The other thing about this is when these doors, they come in and they close, these struts are pulling in as well. Well, that's a lot better than like a magnetic latch or a catch, because that can sit there and rattle on those type of latches. This doesn't rattle. It pulls it nice and snug too, so you're not going to have those little rattles going down the road. That's the kind of stuff that drives me insane. These are, of course, all solid hardwood doors, which most diesel pushers have solid hardwood doors, but what about 90% of diesel pushers don't have are solid wood everywhere else. They'll use a wrapped wood on the stiles and on the fascias. It's a lot of times wrapped foam, really cheap stuff. That's not the case here. This is all stained hardwood. There's no wrap in this coach, including this up here. All right, across from this, above so again, our television is going to come up out of here. We have a little bit of storage here. We have our kind of our little accessories, audio video accessories bin here with a smoked glass door on it, so your remote control works through there. This is where your satellite receiver would go, or if you want to put a Blu-ray player or something like that in there. These are all Samsung TVs, by the way, and a Bose sound bar above. This is another little storage cubby right here. All right, let's get into the kitchen. Well, before we do that, I don't want to skip over the booth here. I promised you we'd show you some of this storage. So that's all one large cabinet there. It's not divided, so if you have any longer items, you can put them in there. And then your booth has storage under both sides. It looks like this. You know, RVers will use every bit of storage that you give them. So little spaces like this may not seem all that significant, but I promise you they are. This coach has a built-in central vac unit on it as well. I love this little feature. In fact, I recently put that exact setup in my home during a kitchen remodel. You can just sweep up the dog hair, in my case, and sweep it right over there, kick it up with your foot. Don't even have to bend over, and it goes away. No more dustpan, that type of thing. But this coach also comes with attachments that you plug in right here, a long hose, that type of thing. You can get all the way to the front and all the way to the back of the coach to get all those little nooks and crannies. Now, kitchen storage, all right? We have a beautiful overhead here. How many dishes can you fit in there? I mean, that is significant storage, and with no divider in the middle there, that's just very, very optimal usage of space, I would say. New for 2023, we have the farm sink. Okay. Let me shove these back. Of course, you have a little divider down in there, pull out sink sprayer. All right. Under mount cooktop here. This is an induction cooktop that will pull out of there if you want it to, and you can take it outside and use it outside if you want. It's just a regular 110 plug on there, and you can take it out and use it there, or keep it right in here and use it as an undermount. The backs of these are cutting boards. How nice is that? We have a 30-inch Whirlpool convection microwave. This is residential. These are residential appliances. This isn't cheap RV off-brand stuff. These are names you know, which is good. Go to the lower storage. Okay, I love this. Pull out there for the trash can. And then the drawers. Let me shut this. Of course, these are all full extension ball bearing drawer glides like you would expect. Everything is soft close, so when you get them close, there we go, they'll pull themselves in. Again, that pull in feature of that kind of that serves a double purpose. Number one, it's nice that it pulls itself back in when you get anywhere close, but number two, it holds it in. That's one of the things that makes Newmar just a quieter coach. Big drawer here, and then two more below it. All right, so this Corian is all cut and finished at Newmar. They do it themselves. New backsplash this year as well. And look at the edge on the Corian here. So that's new for 2023 also. It was more of just a rounded over edge, a little more decorative all the way throughout the coach today. So I think we're pretty good back to here. Let's get to the refrigerator. All right, again, Whirlpool, pull out freezer below. All LED lighting in here, ice maker on the lower side of this, and we have water on the door. And then we have our pantry with 6 pull-out, sure they are, there we go. They're locking in there, so you have to push in before you pull out. Adjustable height drawers in there, so you can always get to what you want, and it's lit. Okay, half bath. I'm not going to get into that because it's impossible to fit 2 people to film a half bath. But obviously you have storage below. You have a nice medicine cabinet there, a vessel sink with some countertop space out to the right of it, plenty of room in and around the stool. That cabinet above the stool is going to be where you find your circuit breaker boxes and your fuses, but that's not too much fun for RVs. We'll skip that. New for 2023. Now, if I'm being fair, Newmar's probably been a little behind on this. Take a look here. This touchscreen that you see here is all new in Dutch Star. This has most of your coach controls here, and what's even better is you can take this and find the app, where to go. All right, and I have all the controls that are on here I have on the phone. So from floor heat to the auto generator start to lighting to HVAC, holding tanks, how much is in my holding tanks, is my water pump on or off. This is now Bluetooth capable to go directly to your device on here, and it's a good system. Now Silverleaf has some capabilities with a touchscreen like this, but honestly it's not nearly as user-friendly as this, and the app is not great in my opinion on the Silverleaf side. This is by KIB. It's the same people that do the multiplex lighting in the coaches and has for years. They've got a great relationship with Newmar, and this is just a nice system. I'm going to show you on the touchscreen instead of on the phone. We'll get into the details a little bit. It's menu based down here at the bottom. You know how to use this in 5 seconds after you step in front of it. It's so simple. So from the home screen, which is where we have most of the information we're going to want on a regular basis, we can see what's in our holding tanks. Are we low on fresh water? Are we going to overflow our gray tank? You can see that at the touch of a screen. How are our batteries doing? Again, this is all on the home screen. Water pump off and on is right here. This does have the autofill feature on the fresh tank, which means, hey, if the night before tomorrow, while we're hooked up to water here, let's go ahead and fill our tank. You don't have to go outside and turn valves or anything like that. Just hit the autofill button, and when you wake up in the morning, your fresh water tank is going to be full. Also, your main lighting, all lights on, all lights off in the individual areas of the coach are right here on the main screen, and most importantly, TV lift up is right here. I promised we have a TV there and that we'd get to it. So there's our Samsung TV coming up right behind the little sofa and directly across from the theater seating. Your viewing angles are something I always look at in coaches, and they are tremendous in here. All right, we'll get back to this. Let's move over a menu. We'll go to AGS. That's auto generator start. So this is how we set up our generator to come on, either due to specific voltage or maybe just at a specific time, or if we want to make sure that we left our pets in here, and hey, if it gets to X temperature, I want the generator to come on so the air conditioner can run. This is where you set that up. You can also rule out certain times that it can't run by setting up a quiet time for it. So it's a wonderful system. It's been around for a while, but honestly, programming it through that control center I showed you at the front of the coach is kind of a pain. It's not all that user-friendly. This is very user-friendly. This is easy. This is something that, like I said, I think Newmar was probably a little behind. They don't like to roll out the electronics the day they come out because they know there's bugs to be worked out. This system is awesome. Okay, floor heat. This coach has 3-zone floor heat. We have the front of the coach, the middle of the coach, and the back of the coach, where we have high, medium, and low. Now, floor heat not only can make the tile not cold, obviously, so when we get up in the morning, our feet aren't cold. Also, the better part about it is it can be a silent heating system. I told you your primary heating system, if it gets really cold, is the Oasis system. That's your hydronic system. But you can also use a couple of other ways of heating this coach. One of them that's completely silent is going to be your floor heat. If it's above 45, 50 degrees, you can actually turn this up and heat your coach completely silently. People love the floor heat feature. All right, moving forward, we're going to go to fans. We have 3 exhaust fans in here in the ceiling. One right above the kitchen stove here, in case dinner gets a little too done. I keep telling my wife that's not the kitchen timer, that when the smoke detector goes off, but it happens. So if you need to get some smoke out of the coach, Troy, watch your step. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Right.
we left a drawer open. We're trying to kill Troy. He's backing up, and I can see bad things happening. I don't care about him, but I was afraid he'd hurt the coach. So also for our half bath, we have an exhaust fan in there, and then for the main bathroom, they're all controlled right here through the main system. HVAC. So this is where we control what temperature we want the coach set at. Now we're heating this coach today. It was about 50 degrees when I came in this morning. We're heating the coach today with the heat pumps. That's our third way of actually heating this coach. If it's above 40 degrees, heat pumps are very effective. They're also pretty darn quiet, and you're using the campground's electricity instead of using your diesel fuel potentially by using the Oasis system. So again, above 45 degrees, we have lots of 45 degrees. We have lots of choices for how to heat this coach. This is one of them, and our control for this system for setting our thermostat and all that is right here. Bluetooth pairing, that's how I mated up my phone with the app. And then lastly, lights. This, you just go at the top, you have all the menus for the different areas of the coach, and we can do all the lighting just at the touch of a button. Again, I can't say this was my favorite. This is actually absolutely my favorite new thing for 2023 from Newmar, and this went throughout their lineup. This wasn't just in Dutch Star, it came into a lot of coaches. The higher up the line you get, the more advanced of a menu you get, and maybe the bigger screen you get. This is a 10-inch screen on here. So enough on that. This is a little thermistor. Okay, so that guy talks to the HVAC system to tell us what temperature it's at in different areas of the coach. So you have a few of those located throughout, so it can kind of keep the heating and cooling balanced. As we come back into the bedroom, now we have a beautiful solid door here. I said solid door. Most coaches, you're going to knock and it's going to make that hollow sound. This is actually real wood solid door, and this will close off this area when it's appropriate. As we come back through here, look at our walkway. It's nice and wide. This is a king-size sleep number bed. This does lift up with storage underneath it. There's the extra chairs that come with the booth and the 2 leaves, so you can make this a significant dining experience for probably up to 5 or 6 people if you wanted to. Storage back here, we have 2 wardrobes. Okay, we'll open this one so you can see it. They're identical, so if you've seen one, you've seen them all. And then we have 5 drawers like this. Okay. All right, I say 5. I know it looks like 6, but this one is actually a fold down. That's for audio video equipment. This is where we would put our satellite receiver for the bedroom in this case. So that's a little bit about bedroom storage. We have overhead storage up here. That is pre-plumbed and prepped for a CPAP. You can run your hoses down through there. There's an outlet up above there as well. I'm not going to crawl back there and do it, but trust me, it's there. You also have outlets inside these little cabinets here that you can get to, and then they left a little slot here to bring the cord out. So you're going to plug your cell phone in back there. The charging block goes back inside the cabinet, and then just the cable hangs out here. So it's a very clean look, and you'll have a nice little table to set your cell phone on to charge. Also new for 2023 as we go around, your window boxes are all new. These have a nice little curve in them here. They've added a little bit of fabric for accents, but kept it mostly neutral on most of the floor plans so it'll age well. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, they tend to go really wild on some of those window valances, and you see a coach that's 5 years old get traded in and it's like, what were they thinking? That's not the case here. Kept it nice and tasteful. We have one very small step up in this coach, and as we step up, we also go to a cathedral ceiling in here. So we have great height in the rear bathroom and a lot of room in here, and of course everything we need. Well, what do we need? Well, gotta have a washer and dryer, stackable, Splendid washer and dryer. All right, a good sized shower. Now, a lot of 40-footers, when you go to the bath and a half, you get that neo angle shower. That's not a good size shower. That's a doable shower, but it's not a good size shower. There's significant space in here. We have the rain shower head here, as well as a handheld. And we do have the water miser on here, which is a really neat system where you can turn the water on and you'll hear it flowing, but it won't be coming out the faucet. It's warming up the water. It's getting the water from the Oasis system over to here. And then when that little light comes on inside the shower there, you know you've got hot water, but you weren't wasting water, either wasting your fresh water or filling up your gray tank. Both are bad. Nice system to save water with that. And there is even a little seat in here. So if you want to sit down and shave your legs, you can do that. Back here around the toilet, again, great amount of space here, which is something we all appreciate. The emergency egress door is here, so this door opens up from the inside only, and then you can extend the little ladder that comes out of the bottom half of this door and make a safe exit in the event that you would ever need to, God forbid. But it's a lot better than climbing out a window. I think we can all agree with that. You climb out one of those windows, you're probably not going to stick the landing. With this, you can safely walk down a ladder, and that's nice. All right. There's a little cabinet here. This is where your toilet paper holder is. I just had to show that because I thought it was pretty ingenious. There's storage back here for extra TP and that type of thing. Boy, the things we talk about on videos these days, huh? All right. Above the toilet, we have linen closet, I would say here. But I guess, if you buy it, I don't care what you put there. It's your coach. That's what I'd put there. Nice deep medicine cabinet with a power plug in the middle for either the hair dryer or curling iron or beard trimmer. That's something I do use. All right, and then another closet back here. So if you look, there's quite a bit of hanging space in here. Two smaller ones in the bedroom and then a bigger one here. And all kinds of drawers and everything in here. There is a safe back there as well. I'm sure he got that on video, but there's a safe back there. We have 3 more drawers underneath the wardrobe like this. Okay, I'm sorry, 2 drawers and a little access panel. All right. And then 3 drawers here like this, storage here, 3 more drawers over here. I mean, there's a lot of storage in this bathroom. All right, so we've talked a lot about the inside of this coach. I'm sure I forgot some things, but if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask on that. But let's go look at what's new on the outside. So one of the things we like to do on our videos is show you what it looks like with the slides in. So before we go to the outside, let's do a quick overview of that. And before I forget, people always ask me, hey, why don't you mention the price? Well, I can't mention my selling price to you. I can mention the MSRP. Newmar has certain rules and we play by the rules. The MSRP on this coach as it sits is $675,637. So our sale price would be way, I'm going to do a fourth way lower than that. To get that, you have to give me a call or reach out to me via email. We'll put the email address right here. We'll put the phone number right here. I'm making extra work for Troy every time I do this. So those are fun things for me to do. Now, some of the details of this particular decor on the inside is called Bayshore. All right, the graphics that you're going to see on the outside, the paint scheme on the outside is called Dali. And these cabinets are Bermuda glazed maple, which can come in either matte finish or high gloss. These are obviously the high gloss. So for those of you keeping score at home, now you know what you're looking at. Let's take a look at how we still have a nice aisleway left in this coach, even going down the road. So everybody loves all the slide outs you can get, but what goes up must come down and what goes out must come in. So one of the things you try to keep in mind is, what are we going to have left over? Now, the theater seating actually sticks out more than some of the other options, but on this particular floor plan, it's still a nice aisle. I don't have to turn sideways through here. So pretty easy to navigate up and down this while we're going down the road. We can still get to the sink if we wanted to the stove. Don't boil water going down the road. We could throw a bag of microwave popcorn in here and let her rip. As we get to the refrigerator, I can get to both sides of the fridge. I could even get in here and get my ice cream sandwich out of the freezer down below. And then pantry is also very accessible here. So all the things you need to get to going down the road. Oh, I forgot one. Okay, you wonder why that door hinges in the middle? This is why that door hinges in the middle. So it opens nice and wide. I mean, again, I don't have to turn sideways to get in here. Okay, so that's why they make it hinge in the middle. People sometimes, I've heard people not like that. I think it's the most ingenious thing ever, because that way it's not dinging up your refrigerator. If this hinged normally, this door would be hitting the refrigerator and scratching it all up. That's not good. So by hinging it in the middle like that, it makes a nice easy entryway in here. And once the door is closed, it doesn't change a thing. You have just as much space on the inside once the door is closed as if it were a normal hinged door. All right, back to the bed. If I wanted to, I could still lay down on this bed, take a little nap while somebody else is driving. Getting to the back bathroom or to these drawers down here, that's probably not realistic unless you want to do a somersault over the bed. But I'd give this a B+ as far as space going down the road goes. This is one of the better floor plans for that. All right, now we'll get to the outside. Okay, so lots to talk about at the front of the RV, so I figured we'd start here. As I mentioned, and we'll get some good shots of this after we close it all up, but there's brand new front and rear caps because this coach did have a life cycle change. So they look different than they did last year from the front and the rear, and as I close it all up, you'll get better views of that. Due to customer demand, they actually put in brand new headlights this year as well. These are the Sylvania Silver Star headlights. So there is a much noticeably brighter beam coming out of these on both high and low beam. So you'll appreciate that if you do some night driving. Speaking of driving, this coach, I forgot to mention, has the on-guard system in it. Well, the on-guard system is a collision avoidance system that will actually alert you if traffic is suddenly stopping in front of you. It will beep. It can even do emergency braking as well. So a wonderful safety feature. This coach does have it, and that does include adaptive cruise control on here as well. That's available on both Spartan and Freightliner chassis. This is a Spartan, and this has it. Since this is a Spartan, I need to talk about the new front axle. They changed manufacturers of the front axle. The new front axle has the same weight rating, but it's actually lighter in weight physically, which improves carrying capacity of the coach, and it has a sharper wheel cut. So if you thought that Spartan had a tremendous wheel cut last year, this year it's even better, so you'll like that. Okay, we have the beefiest windshield wipers in the industry. That's something so many coaches, you see some wimpy windshield wiper arms and motors. It seems like a little thing until it's raining and they're chattering going across the window because they just don't have enough beef to move that big of a wiper arm. This will absolutely do it. Here in this generator compartment, obviously it's a pull-out generator, which makes service so much easier. So you'll love that. It's super easy to pull out. It rolls very easily. It's running right now and it's very quiet. The Onan generator is. That red knob right there, that is a hot water line we have run. That's an option that we have run up to the generator compartment. Well, what do we need hot water for? We need hot water to clean bugs off our windshield, especially those Florida bugs that like to eat paint. We can get them off the front end of the coach very easily. We fill our wiper fluid here. There's also an air chuck right here, where we can get an air hose and actually air up our tires or maybe our inflatable beach toys, whatever you want. The air horns are inside of this compartment, pointed at the ground. Believe me, you can hear them. It's just a better, old school, they used to put them up top. Well, up top, you know, you're poking more holes in your roof. They're exposed to the elements. You know, there's a lot of reasons not to do that. They're not the most aerodynamic things in the world. So putting them in here is a better look overall for the coach and better for the air horn. So this just pushes right back into place. All right, we'll go till you hear the click. There we go. Now we're locked in. And we'll close this up, and now we can back up and get a little better view of that new front cap the way it's supposed to look. All right, we're going around the coach in the reverse order that we usually do. Notice up at the very top up here, sorry Troy, threw a curveball at you. There's a camera up there. Well, that's one of the 4 cameras that does that 360 view we talked about. There's one on all 4 sides of the coach. That's the front one. And then there's other cameras on this coach as well. These are turn signal activated side cameras here. So when you're going to change lanes, you're going to move to the left lane, you turn on your left blinker, and it will show you if there's some little car here riding next to you that you can't see. Again, great safety feature. These are Spartan fuses and circuitry up here. Newmar was kind enough to put you some extra fuses in here of all the different kinds that you might need. So you really shouldn't have to mess with this compartment very much. If you wanted to put a small something in here for storage, you could as well. But mostly this is just a service center for the chassis side of things. And that exhaust pipe is actually your generator exhaust that you see there. This coach could be fueled from either side. It goes to 1 tank, fuel's in the middle. It's a 100-gallon fuel tank. So each side you'll have this. This is a pull-out battery tray. Now these are AGM batteries, so you don't need to pull them out and put fluid in them because they don't need that. But if you ever did need any battery service or anything, they're very easy to get to on that pull-out tray. There's a schematic right here. So if you forget how you took the cables off when you're swapping out a battery, they've got you. They thought of you there, and you've got your cheat sheet there as well. Also with AGM batteries, they don't off-gas like a lead acid battery does, so you don't get all that white, crusty, nasty battery stuff corroding your cables and really corroding the inside of the compartment. So AGMs are just a better way to go there, and that's what this has. So I have a pull-out tray here. This tray pulls out either side of the motorhome. There's some extra floor tiles from the same batch of King Air tile that we talked about. All right, one thing I want to show you here, well, 2 things. First of all, the thickness of this floor. When it comes to Newmar, something I always try to talk about, and this is where they are second to no one, is on how well they insulate a coach. There's salesmanship, and then there's just brute facts, okay? Thickest walls, thickest floors, thickest roof, thickest basement floor, and most amount of studs in the wall of any RV manufacturer. Period, end of story. And you can feel that. I always tell people when they're shopping different brands and stuff like that, stop in the doorway or the entrance door and put your finger on the inside and the outside and feel that wall, that it's this thick. It's not this thick, it's not this, it's this thick. And you can feel that compared to any other brand out there. You're gonna see that there's a difference, and there's just flat out more insulation in that wall. The floor is where most manufacturers, the basement floor is where most manufacturers skimp. They're literally like a 1/4 inch steel, fiberglass, whatever floor on most manufacturers. And remember, this basement area, that's where our holding tanks are. You are only as strong as your weakest point when it comes to keeping a coach from freezing. And you can heat the basement all you want, but if your basement floor is this thick, it's not going to do you a lot of good. You're still subject to freezing up a coach. Anywhere there's water tank or water lines in this coach, we have heat running through there, and that's what protects us in cold temps, and that's why you can go colder in a Newmar coach than any other coach out there. New for 2023, they changed out their rubber seals. Now, for years, Newmar has used neoprene here, and it's a great subject, but I don't know how many times I've had to hundreds I know, but that I've had to teach people how to close a Newmar compartment door, because you really had to slam them, and you had to slam them right at the latch height. I always told people, find where the little hook is right there, put your hand directly on the back of that door and be firm, okay? And it was just because that neoprene was so hard to compress. So they changed it out. They found a better material this year. Thank God that worked first time. We don't have to do a retake on that. Seriously, I've been around this coach a couple times. That's how easy they are to close now. You just flip them. They still line up perfectly like Newmar doors are supposed to, and now they're just a simple little flip of the wrist. Newmar slide outs recess back into the wall, okay? You don't have that big piece of plastic, okay, or fiberglass that covers the gap here. You have a wall that is countersunk, if you will. Countersinking the wall, that's less wind noise. That's less chance for water or dirt intrusion, just a better way of doing things. Okay, let's see, where were we? I think we were in this compartment. Here we go. So this is we talked about hydronic heating in the Oasis system. This is it. This is where our primary heating system for the coach, that is done by circulating a glycol throughout the coach through little heat exchangers that were hidden in plain sight in there for the heating side of the coach. Also, your water heating is an open loop system. The water comes through here, gets heated up in this box, and then comes out your faucet. That's how that system works. And this Oasis system can even heat itself when you're going down the road off of the engine. It's tied into the cooling system on the radiator, so you're good to go there. Going down the road, you're not really using any other energy to heat that. This is our 50-foot, 50-amp shore power cord. It's on a power reel, so it's easy to get to. It has a built-in surge protector as well. And then if we need to use a ground satellite or hook up to park cable, this is where you would do it. Now you might ask me, hey, Chris, if it's got a in-motion satellite dish on the roof, why would I need a ground satellite? Some people carry one if TV is really important to you. Every now and then at a certain park, you may have a tree in your way. You may be under a tree or a tree to the south, and you can't get a signal off of your roof dish, so you can have a portable and put it out in a clearing and tie it in there and still have satellite TV. Doesn't happen real often, but just in case it does, you're taken care of. Move on to our wet bay. Last year they went to this stainless instead of the white, so that's still a big improvement there. Our reel or on a hose reel as well, so it's power. We optioned in the macerator with this one. Now, what's a macerator? Well, that's this guy. All right, this will stretch out longer distances. This is a stretchy cord, so this will stretch out longer distances to dump when you need to go further than what a typical sewer hose will work. There's also a grinder feature. I always tell people, think of a macerator as a garbage disposal tied to a water pump, so we can grind it and we can shoot it. Now, in truth, this already has macerating toilets in it, so it's already ground. Again, the wonderful things we talk about. It's already ground up by the time it gets to the holding tank, but this would regrind it, and then you can stretch out further distances with the macerator. Now, this hose isn't all that long. Again, it's fairly long, but you can actually take this little cap off right here and hook a regular garden hose up to this, not your fresh water hose, please. But you can hook a regular garden hose up to this and go quite a distance. I think I've read up to 200 feet before on that. Don't hold me to that, but I believe that's what I read on here. Either way, great fun at parties to see how far you can. No, let's not do that. All right, so let's put this away. You can still do a traditional dump on here as well. This has the regular 3-inch coupler on here that you route out through there and do a gravity dump as well. This is our whole house water filtration. We're in the middle of winterizing coaches here. It's October, so it's that time of year to get ready for winter in the Midwest. So we're in the middle of doing that, and I interrupted the guys because we were doing a video, so that's why that is off. But that's your whole house water filtration system. We have hot and cold water on a metal faucet out here, not some chintzy little plastic faucet. And this coach is all set up for winterization because it already has the hose on here that'll suck it right out of the bottle just by turning a couple of valves. So they've made it super easy to winterize this coach. Hopefully, if you buy this coach though, you don't winterize it. I want you to take it to someplace warm, somewhere down by that equator, and enjoy it. All right, moving along. We have a separate compartment here for our sewer hose. Traditionally, that's not something you want to keep with your other goodies. So it needs its own spot, and that is its own spot. As you can see, this is a 40-foot Newmar coach with a tag axle. Most coaches that are 40 feet long don't have tag axles, and I've had my competitors, say, well, why does that 40-footer have a tag axle? Well, why doesn't your 40-footer have a tag axle? If you want to compare, see how short a lot of 40-footers are on cargo carrying capacity compared to Newmar, which is going to carry more than any other 40-footer out there. Look up the specs on that. I didn't before I came out here, but I can tell you it's like 5 times more cargo carrying capacity on here than what you're going to see on your typical 40-foot coach. Also, to be fair, Newmars weigh a little bit more, so their 40-footers would be skimping a little more than other 40-footers if they didn't have a tag axle because of thicker floors, thicker walls, thicker roof, more studs in the wall, thicker basement floor. It weighs more. So to really just eliminate cargo carrying capacity as ever entering the owner's mind, you put a tag axle on it. Now, This is a steerable tag. So when you're going down the road or going around a parking lot at slow speeds and you're turning the wheel, those are actually following you along, which makes your turning radius tighter. It doesn't do the scrubbing on the tires that tag axles traditionally do. So that's a wonderful thing. And it's also more stability in high winds. You're cutting out across Kansas and the wind's really whipping up. The more rubber you have on the ground, the easier that coach is to control, the better it's going to drive. So independent front suspension is something that is standard on a Dutch Star. That's going to give you the best turning radius out there and the most shock absorbing front end you can have. Steerable tag axle is going to give you, again, a great turning radius and the most amount of stability out there. And it's a good heavy coach. So that coupled with comfort drive, there's no better driving rig out there than a Newmar with an independent front suspension and a tag axle. If you don't believe me, come drive it. I'm easy. Side radiator coach, okay? What that does for us primarily is it gets the radiator out of the way from back here in the engine compartment. You know, if you have a rear radiator coach, nothing wrong with that, but you can't get to anything. You know, you can barely check the fluid levels on it. You would never be able to change a belt without getting underneath the coach or probably getting a technician involved. Everything's pretty easy to get to here, from our hydraulic fluid to our Oasis boiler antifreeze to our filter. Spartan made those very easy to get to. 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom back here. Our air filter's easy to get to up here. Everything is accessible that you would ever need to get to on this coach, unless there was something catastrophic. So makes maintenance just so much easier. This hitch and this coach are rated to tow 15,000 pounds behind it. Most diesel pushers are 5 to 10. 15 is the exception to this, so you'll appreciate that if you do want to tow a heavier vehicle. I have customers out there towing 3/4 ton trucks behind their vehicle. Now, I think that's a little crazy from the standpoint of why do you need to tow something that big? But hey, if you want to, I've had people throw their motorcycles in the back of the truck and tow a full-size truck, long bed truck down the road. You can do it, and that's awesome. You also have this pre-set up for an air braking system for that towed. So if the vehicle you want to tow, if you want to set that up with an air braking system, we can do that for you right here at Mount Comfort RV. But the motorhome's already set up for it. We need to do nothing on the motorhome side of things. So we have a camera here for our backup camera and a camera up there for our 360 camera. So as I mentioned before, there's cameras all over this, and I'll just have Troy pan back a little bit here and get a great shot of that new rear cap. All right, come on. This is our battery compartment for our chassis battery. So there's 2 batteries in here, and Troy's running into things. That's the wonderful part. We don't do a lot of cuts on here. We just keep going, and if he's bleeding or bruised, we don't let the show stop. A couple batteries in here for the chassis side of things. These are disconnects. If you put those little breakers can be used as disconnects to put your coach in storage if you're not using it and it's not plugged in. Now, on the other side, there was a fill for the DEF. I think I walked past it, but it's there, and also over here. So either side of the coach, you can fill the DEF. What is DEF? Well, if you don't know, any new diesel engine made since 2010 has diesel exhaust fluid, DEF. It's part of the after treatment that make these the cleanest burning diesel engines ever produced. And it's any new diesel car or truck that you buy will have this. It doesn't use a lot of this. It's about 1 gallon for every 50 gallons of fuel. It's available at Pilots and Flying J's, and gas stations that sell diesel fuel will also sell DEF. You can either buy it like in a 2-gallon jug, or in a lot of cases it's coming on the pump now. It does have a shelf life to it, so you want to, if you do have a 2-gallon jug, use that once a year and rotate in a new jug. It's not a bad idea to carry an extra jug with you just in case you would ever need it, but don't have the same one that's 5 years old sitting there in your coach, because it will have gone bad by then. We have the docking lights so you don't run over the picnic table as you're backing into your spot. On a lot of RVs, the holding tanks are generally right here in front of the rear axles, the dually axles. And a lot of times they won't even put a door there because there's nothing in there. Well, Newmar said we can make 4 or 5 inches of space here, put some nice shelves, some nice pegboard in, and that's what they've done. So nice little spot here for that. Come up here. This is the main basement storage that you're going to see throughout this coach. Now, this is a raised rail chassis, or a bridged chassis, if you will, which creates a massive amount of space. You've got great height in here throughout. We did 1 tray up here in the front that we already showed you from the other side. We left the tray out of here. You can get a second tray in this floor plan. You do lose a little bit of height when you put a tray in, so there's advantages and disadvantages depending on how you want to look at that. So we optioned not to put the second tray in. It can be added after the fact. Now, this tray is the one that I pulled out on the other side, so it comes out either side. You pan up a little bit here, we're gonna have our Samsung television with another Bose soundbar, and this just pulls out. It's on magnets back there, so you can angle it the direction you want. Go ahead and get a shot up top. Of course, we have slide toppers on here, but we also, below the slide toppers, we have window awnings. And then that very top rail at the top, that is your main awning. These are Girard awnings. They are very nice, but kind of expensive awnings. And these, we option them up. Those are both awnings. So really, from here to the very back of the coach is all under awning. You've got like 37 feet of awning here. And that's important because this is where you spend your time. When you're in the resort, when you're in the campground, this is where you spend a lot of your time. Now, these were optioned up to the Nova awnings, which instead of just coming straight out and bend down like this, which helps you of an evening when the sun's going down, really gives you that much more shaded time. Up here, all right, pull out freezer, refrigerator, whichever you want to set it to, it can do either. And notice how far away from the coach it comes out. Well, that's because even if this slide room were extended, you could still get in here. All right, this runs off 12 volt or 120 volt either way. One thing nice they started doing last year that I really appreciate is they put this shelf in above, because there was just kind of wasted space up there. It's not wasted space anymore. That's great storage space for the RV. All right. All right, as I mentioned, dual fuel fill. Here's the fill on the driver's, or on the door side rather. Aluminum wheels. So this one just got here. We haven't had a chance to polish it up yet, but those are aluminum wheels. And then everything you see covered in this white plastic stuff here, that's the stainless steel trim package. It's kind of an expensive package, but it just makes them look like $1 million. That goes, it's the steps, it's under the door, it's at the bottom of every door all the way around the coach. It just really sets off the coach. All right, couple things to finish up here. We have our keyless entry. You can punch in your own code right here and unlock or lock the compartment doors and the main entry door. We even have a doorbell on this. This is that little awning I was talking about above the door when we went through the inside. And then flagpole holder. There's a little insert that drops down in here and you can fly your favorite colors. And lastly, there's a diamond shield on the front of this. It's hard to see, but there's actually a clear film over the entire front of this coach, because that's where you'll take the funky bugs and the rocks and all that. That's to protect your paint on the front, but also they put it around here because you'll have keys in your hand if you're ever doing that. You don't want to scratch it up. They put it here because a big ring could scratch that. So it's nice to have that protection there so that your beautiful finish on your coach is protected. All right, so last order of business. Where'd it go? Where's my list? I lost it. Wait a minute. Aha. My list, my cheat sheet. Our next video is going to be video on demand. All right, we're in an on-demand world. You want to watch something, you speak into your remote control these days and it pops up on your television. I can't make it quite that seamless, but you're going to tell us, hopefully you're going to tell us, what video you want to see next. I'm committing to you that we haven't done as many videos lately. We've just been busy, and probably I've been too lazy. That's on me. I'm committing to you to start pumping out a lot of videos here in the last part of this year. So with that in mind, you get to tell me what's next. I have 3 to choose from that we want to do videos on. First one will be a new Dutch Star floor plan, like this new Dutch Star floor plan. It's a 4325. Brand new floor plan. I have a 2023 4325 that just arrived, so it's here and ready to go. I have a Kountry Star 4037 that's also a 2023. Now that's a floor plan that's been around, but it's a Kountry Star, so a little lesser price point. So if you want to see that, please let me know. And lastly, the Ventana 4328 is also a new floor plan for Ventana. Now, that floor plan existed at one time in Dutch Star, but it's never been in Ventana before. So it's a really cool floor plan in the Ventana. You tell me which one of those 3. Comment in the comments on our YouTube page here, and we'll just tally them up here in a few days, and you are determining what we will do next. So please don't forget to like our videos. Please subscribe to our page, and don't forget, ask for me if you have any interest in purchasing one of these beautiful beasts. Thanks for watching. My name's Chris Anderson. I'm with Mount Comfort RV. See you next time.